guys, thanks for tuning into my channel. Today's video is going to be my review recap of If Loving You Is Wrong Season 4 Episode 11, The Porch Light. Now the episode begins with Marcy, Natalie, and Esperanza standing outside giggling over the little picture she took last episode with of Eddie being tied up. I didn't review last episode because I didn't even know the show was coming back on, because it usually come on Tuesdays. But they moved it to Wednesdays at 9, so it kind of threw me off when I saw everybody talking about it on the internet. I'm like, the show is back, but obviously we're back and we're on Wednesday, because usually when the haves and have-nots is on, If Loving You Wrong is out of season. So we're just going to get right on into the review. So we over at Randall's house. Lucian went upstairs to untie him because that last episode it was begging for the key and all that stuff, and he was pretending that it wasn't no key. And Lucian ended up going upstairs and unlocking Eddie from being tied up in the S&M chain, and asked Eddie if he wanted to press charges, and Eddie was like no, and then they started laughing. So at the end of last episode, Eddie took out the gun and was shooting at Randall and Larry. It probably was this episode, I can't remember. But Eddie took out the gun and he was shooting at Larry and Randall, and then Eddie was still talking crazy to Lucian. I'm like, you are really, really arrogant. The man just unlocked you from being tied up and probably tortured and molested and all this crap, and you still down here acting crazy. But yeah, he ended up shooting at Larry and Randall. Of course he missed, and then Larry claimed he's gonna sue him, he's gonna get him back, and Eddie basically told them that he's gonna kill them. Like, he threatened their lives in front of another police officer, telling both of them that they're gonna kill him, that he's gonna kill them. And I believe Eddie gonna come back, because like Eddie is crazy. He think he's invincible. So I believe he is gonna come back and like kill Randall, or like try to kill him, especially Larry too, because Larry's really arrogant too. He's annoying. I didn't know he was this annoying. And I'm like, they just shooting up this little white neighborhood tonight. First Kelly, because you know last episode Kelly shot Travis, and now Eddie over here shooting. I said those people house values are going down. Like, they probably gonna be, and the police haven't came back. Like, all these gunshots and ain't nobody called the police. Y'all in like this Lily Wright area in the cul-de-sac, and nobody called the police from all these gunshots. I know y'all hear gunshots. Like, I hope you don't think it's firecrackers in the middle of the winter time. And then we get Esperanza and Steven. Steven comes over. Esperanza's standing outside. He's like flirting with her and stuff, and she's like playing it off. And then she gets in her car and she calls him and she's telling him, don't be acting like that in front of her friend, in front of those people. And I'm like, what's she talking about? And she's talking about she don't want him flirting with her and stuff in front of Natalie, Marcy, and Alex, in front of Alex's house or whatever. And Lucian, I think, was there too. She didn't want them in her business, and I'm like, Esperanza, you got some nerves, because you always in everybody else's business, but when it's time to get into your business, you don't want anybody in it. Like, she one of those friends that's so judgmental, but she don't want you to know anything about them. But anyways, yeah, so he was like, okay, because Steven came over on a motorcycle, and then she said something about the porch light. And I think he asked her if she was going to sleep or something, and she was like, no. And he was like, okay, if I see the porch light on, I'm coming. And she was like, I always have my porch light on. But he was like, well, if it's on tonight, then I'm coming. And she told my son, okay, yeah, you can come. Because before then, he was like practically like begging Esperanza to come over to her house, and she was like playing all hard to get. I'm like, girl, you going to sleep with the whole station? Because you don't been with Eddie, then you've been with him. I don't know who else she could have been with. But I'm like, girl, you can't keep dating everybody in the station, everybody that you work with. That's just gonna be a messy situation. And then her and Steven was laughing and joking and talking about the picture of Eddie was around the station or something, because somehow he mentioned them. I'm like, how is it around the station already? Esperanza sent it to everybody, because nobody knows this happened. This literally just happened. So how is this picture around the station or something? I'm like, this probably like poor writing or something, or she done sent it to everybody in the station, which I highly doubt, because they literally just took the picture. Like, does she have friends in the station? Because all her friends was basically standing outside with her laughing at the picture, except for Alice. She was in the house. Then we get Lucian's and Kelly's lawyer, Ian. Lucius was up here asking about, like, Larry's over freaking behind Ian. And Ian was like, he don't know nothing about all that, but he heard like some rumors and stuff from back in the day. And Lucian asked him, was he in the S&M stuff? Because they had, and she told him how they had Eddie tied up in the S&M stuff. And he was basically asking him if he's still going to be Kelly's lawyer. But Ian said he has to run it by Larry first because of the conflict of interest with Travis' parents being their main donor and all that stuff from the church, and they get all their money from the church or whatever. So he said he has to run it by that. I said Kelly ain't gonna have no lawyer. She is not gonna have no lawyer. And Kelly been getting on my nerves too. Like she been, cause like last episode she was shot him or whatever. Then she trying to act spaced out, like she don't know what happened, how she zoned out and stuff. But it's just not believable. Like she's not. I don't know. She just sound like she's on sleeping medicine or something. That's just how bad it sounds. And then we get over to Esperanza's house. She's over there laying down in her little sexy nightie. And I guess she left the porch light on because Steven came. And he knocked on the door and she told him to come in and all this stuff. And she's like, take off your clothes. And she was telling him to do it slowly. And we're like, she only going to sleep with him when she wants to. And then when it's over, when she says it's over, not when he says it's over. Just basically like trying to be in charge. And he was like, you being in charge is really important to you, huh? And I'm thinking in my head, yeah, because Eddie basically been running her life since she got with him. And even after him. Because she was like, he runs all the guys away. And she likes Steven because Steven is not scared of Eddie. And he's not running away. And then she tell him, get on your knees. And then he got on his knees and basically he like ate her little cootie cat. Alex and Brad. And Brad was sitting down in the living room. Well, like in the kitchen area / living room. It's like right on the line. And he was like reading something in a newspaper or something like that. And Alex came down like, oh, I didn't know you was up. And then he was like, yeah, I was up. And then he was like, where's the kids? He was like, he already had took them to school or whatever. And then she was like, oh, why didn't you wake me? He was like, he didn't want to disturb her. So then she was like, okay, are you hungry? He was like, no, I already ate. And then she was like, well, why you didn't save me any food? Why you didn't cook me any food? And then basically Brad started confronting her about going over to Randall, telling Randall that Marcy is pregnant. And she denying it, of course, as usual. Then she get mad because Brad not believing her. But I'm like, you can't get mad, girl. You wouldn't have a whole baby on this man. Like, if you have, like, question of paternity, you probably shouldn't be keeping the baby. Especially when you find out your husband had a vasectomy. Like, girl. And then Brad was like, he was just going to wait outside. I guess he was just tired of just looking at her and just being around her. She was like, oh, you can't wait in here for me? Because she asked him what he was waiting on. He was like, oh, I'm waiting for Marcy to bring my car back. And she was like, oh, you can't wait in here with me? He was like, no, I'll wait outside. And Brad went outside and sat on the porch and left her in the house looking stupid. Then we back over to Esperanza and Steven's house. This is the next morning, I guess, after they did the do. And he was just waking up. She had on all her clothes and stuff. She was telling him don't speak to her at work. And don't act all weird and stuff. And then he was telling her that she was good. And she was like, she know. He was like, and she was like, I've had better. And then he was like, stop lying. Because every time you lie, you be smiling. But she never like admitted that she was lying. But I'm like, Esperanza, how you going to tell him not stop speaking to you? If he always speak to you, he should continue to speak to you. And y'all should just keep acting normal in order for you to play this right. Because one day you automatically speaking to him. And then he's not speaking to you the next day. Somebody going to be like, oh, what's going on with them? Especially with Eddie. Eddie is going to notice. He's going to be noticed the change. Because he noticed everything you do. So you might as well keep the same pattern. And just continue to do what you was doing. Just don't be as obvious with it. And then he was trying to come back later tonight. And she was like, no, my daughter is coming back. Then he was like, I can come after she go to sleep and then I'll just sneak in and I'll be quiet. And she was like, you had a lot of experience with this, huh? And he was like 1 or 2 times. I'm like, child, that's probably all Steven does. Just sneak in and out of women's house. Esperanza, don't trust this man. You're going to get your little heart broken like Eddie. And Steven still like, something about him just doesn't sit right with me. He's just, even though he's clearly FBI with Lucian, but it just doesn't feel right. It feels just so phony because you don't know what side he's on. It's really, really weird. But yeah, so basically I don't even know if she agreed to that or not, but he said he was going to come back over later on tonight after the girl is going to sleep, her little daughter. So we get Marcy. Ian's called Marcy to tell him that he wanted to close on the house. She was like, oh, you already got financing? Like, no, I don't need financing. I was like, oh, Marcy, you maybe need to begin with him instead of Brad, because Brad's still married. And Ian, I think his divorce is already through. But yeah, she was like, oh, you don't need financing? Like, no, I don't need financing. And she said she was going to call him back with all the details. And she asked about Larry, too. I'm like, everybody asking about Larry. He ain't going to be like, why the hell everybody asking me about Larry? Because everybody's asking him about Larry, what they know about Larry. Because everybody knows Larry is kind of shady, but they can't really put their finger on it. So she was asking him about Larry, too. But he didn't drop a dime on Larry, whatever. She was asking him if Larry will break privilege. Because she's trying to find out who told Randall that she's pregnant if Alex really didn't do it. And the other person was Larry, because she was like, Larry knows a secret, and then Randall obviously knows, and him and Randall are friends, so I'm just seeing if he would break privilege. And then he was like, I don't know, maybe you should call him. So Marcy called him, and before somebody even can say hello, she's saying, you told Randall I'm pregnant? And it was Randall on the phone. And Marcy's so stupid for spilling her own tea. I'm like, girl, you should have waited till somebody answered the phone. Like, you already knew Larry was at Randall's house. Randall could have just easily grabbed the man's phone. But that's her own fault for her getting out. So Randall was sitting up there taunting her about being pregnant from Brad. I'm like, Randall, didn't you forget Brad told you that she got a vasectomy? So after Marcy ended up hanging up on him, after he started acting a fool, Randall went and got a bucket of water and threw it on Larry while Larry was asleep, telling him to get out the house, that he lied about her being pregnant. He was like, no, you misheard me. You thought I was talking about Alex and I was talking about Marcy. So it just was just weird. So he ended up kicking him out of his house. After Randall kicked Larry out of his house, Marcy ended up calling him back. He answered the phone, and while she was sitting in the car, and she basically told him she fired. And he kept still trying to lie, say that he didn't tell Randall that the girl pregnant. I'm like, yeah, because you know you're going to get sued for spousal privilege. Well, attorney-client privilege. She can get at you and go to the board for you breaching that. So after he left, Randall walked his behind over there to Brad's house, because you know Brad was sitting on the porch waiting for Marcy to come over. And he came over there asking, was Marcy pregnant for real? And he was like, yeah, Marcy, that's my baby. Brad basically like claiming the baby. And I'm like, Brad, did you say you got a vasectomy? But I really do kind of hope this is Brad baby, because Randall will get what's coming to him. Because like he was doing all this taunting about Alex being pregnant with his baby, and that allegedly not even his baby right now. And then Marcy pregnant too right now, and it's not his baby too. It's probably going to be Brad. But that's going to be some funny mess if it really is, because he's been doing all this dirty work to not have no baby. Because while he was on the phone with her, he was talking to her, talking about, oh, you really pregnant? Because you couldn't hold any of my kids. Like, he was just like really going there with the girl. But that's exactly what Randall get. And Brad was like, get off my property. Get from over here. And Randall all scared. I'm not on your property. I'm on the sidewalk. This is a public property. And Brad was like, get from over here. Brad basically put him on notice. Get from over here. I'm going to beat your ass like I did last time. And basically Brad had asked him if Alex came over there and told him. And he was like, yeah, she told me. Well, you could tell Brad read through that Randall was lying. And then he was like, what you sitting out for? He said, oh, yeah, I'm waiting on Marcy to come pick me up. He was like, oh, and what? So Brad was like, oh, so you really did put sugar in her tank. I didn't know Randall had put sugar in her tank. I just thought her car just like stopped working, like he rigged it or something. But he was like, yeah, he did. He basically admitted that he did put sugar in the girl's tank. I said, Randall is really, really petty. You can't get mad because that girl don't want you. Like, you don't dog this girl out, and you still sitting up here taunting her because she's like, it's over, and you want to get this girl a divorce. You had a nerve to put sugar in her tank. Like, you really, really trying it. Then we go over to Lucian's and Natalie housing. Basically, Lucian over there waking like Natalie up to try to see if Kelly's ready and see so she can go down and give her statement. And they tried to call Ian, and Ian wasn't answering because Kelly was like, she tried to call him. He was like, okay, we'll try to call him from the car. I'm like, Lucian, you need to go ahead and tell this girl that she ain't got no lawyer while y'all trying to sugarcoat it. Because basically he keeps saying that it's conflict. He need to go through Larry. I'm like, what, just start your own law firm. Like, but she basically like scared and stuff because she basically don't have a lawyer technically right now, but she don't really know it. She just knows it's just some iffy going on with Ian, so she can't really put her finger on it, Kelly, but she's still acting spaced out and weird and all that stuff. And Natalie was trying to comfort her and hugging her and all this stuff, but Natalie was causing all this because Natalie gave the girl both guns. Oh, and she did ask how Travis was. I guess she's trying to figure out if he died or not or whatever, and Lucian was like, he didn't know. Then we get Larry. So when Larry left Randall's house, I guess he went straight to his office or whatever. He went over there hungover. And Ian came in. Ian asked him if he was hungover. And he was like, yeah, I had a rough night. And Ian was like, what did you do? And he was like, yeah, you probably don't want to know. And Ian was like, yeah, I don't want to know. But then basically Ian gave him all the proof that Travis was stalking Kelly. Like he told him, was like, she was telling the truth. She ended up shooting Travis last night. And he was like, what? For real? And yeah, he gave him the proof of how Travis pretended to be her husband and break into her banking account and steal all the girl money. How Travis drove around her house over 40 times. Like it was a tracker on his car, driving around her house. How he kept calling her, leaving her all these messages and stuff. And Larry was like, okay, so did the DA know this? He was like, no. And Ian, he was like, no. And he was like, Larry's like, okay, so we have to bury this. We can't let this get out. I'm like, so you really gonna sit up here and frame this girl? And Ian was like, you really gonna do this to the girl and this girl is innocent? And then he was like, yeah, the family paid him over $1 million a year and all this stuff to represent them. They can't let any of that stuff get. I said, so you really gonna sit up here and railroad a black woman for some stuff that she didn't do and probably putting this girl in jail for life? And then he told Ian to bury the papers, and Ian like snatched the papers and he left. I hope Ian come to his senses and actually help Kelly out and tell Larry to kiss his behind, because Larry was like, who owns this firm? I own this firm. And Ian was like, I'm a partner. But he's talking about, but I'm the owner. You just a partner. And I'm like, ooh, Ian, that sounds like words that you need to have your own firm. Ian's so fine too. I'm saying that's like words you need to have your own firm. Like you need to leave Larry because he always into some shady junk. He probably gonna get you disbarred, especially if you hide this evidence. Y'all gonna be disbarred for hiding evidence like this. And the last scene is Kelly at the police station. Now Lucian walked her in there and he kept telling her, don't say anything without a lawyer. Don't say anything without a lawyer. Don't say anything. So basically like the detective man walked in there and he asked Lucian to leave. And Kelly was like, no, I want him here. I want him here. And then the detective man came over there and he had said something to Kelly. I don't even know what he said. And Kelly was like, I'm not speaking to you without my lawyer. Then the man was like, okay, you're under arrest for the murder of Travis, whatever his last name is. And she was like, he's dead? And I'm like, Travis finally dead? I hope he dead for real and they're not bluffing. Because Travis was really, really annoying in this with his stalking and all this stuff. And then how they tried to railroad Kelly. Like, I really do hope he is dead for real because he was very, very annoying. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Hit the notification bell and hit the subscribe button and come back next week when I do my review for next week's episode. Buy my ebook for my wax off of Amazon Kindle for 99 cents. Kindle Unlimited, get to read both parts for free. And all my social media links are down below. If you watch the show, if you have any questions or comments, leave it down below. I'll be glad to read them. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.